Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to break down a mathematically rigorous 9-phase gauntlet that's designed to help you build a highly profitable, highly durable e-commerce brand. We are moving way beyond those get-rich-quick dropshipping myths you probably see flooding your social media feeds. The reality is, professional operators don't rely on luck. They rely on cold, hard data. So we're going to walk through the exact step-by-step playbook to take you from a raw concept all the way to a validated, cash-flowing business. Let's dive right in.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be covering framing and macro demand, competitors and audience mining, viability scoring and economics, risk screening and ad tests, and finally, post-selection monitoring. We're treating this entire process like a tactical funnel to filter down thousands of ideas into one proven winner.
Starting right at the top of that funnel, we have Section 1, Framing and Macro Demand. This covers Phase 0 and Phase 1 of our playbook. Our foundational step, Phase 0, is all about fundamentally shifting your mindset to understand the difference between a product and a niche. Professional operators absolutely do not chase single disposable products. Think about a posture corrector or one of those viral LED dog collars. Those are single products. You really can't sell that same customer something else next month, right? But on the flip side, consider an ergonomic home office ecosystem or mobility aids for senior dogs. Those are durable niches. You're essentially building a walled garden of 15 to 50 complementary items around a specific demographic's ongoing identity. That right there is how you unlock repeat purchases and massive customer lifetime value.
Once you have a durable niche in mind, we move into Phase 1, which is mapping the macro demand landscape. You got to follow these exact steps to make sure your market is on a multi-year upward trajectory. First, hit up Google Trends, but pull that timeline way back to 2004 to present. What you're looking for is a nice, steady, incremental upward slope. Avoid those massive viral spikes. Next, check Pinterest trends to evaluate high-intent lifestyle planning. Third, use Trendly's free tier to detect emerging sub-trends right before they peak. And lastly, mine Amazon's movers and shakers and Etsy's bestsellers list to check product velocity. If the top 100 products are all from just the last 6 months, it's way too volatile. If they have thousands of reviews spanning years, well, you know it's stable, even if it is competitive.
The core philosophy of Phase 1 really boils down to this. The slow bleed upward trajectory is infinitely more valuable than the viral spike. I know agency brochures will tell you otherwise, but jumping on a vertical 90-day search volume spike is incredibly dangerous. Entering a fad practically guarantees excess inventory risk, massive supply chain bottlenecks, and completely crash conversion rates the exact second the social media algorithm decides to move on. You want that boring, predictable 15-degree upward slope.
Moving right along to Section 2, Competitors and Audience Mining. This encompasses Phases 2 and 3 of the playbook. Phase 2 is all about mapping the competitive landscape. You don't need to guess what's working because we have some amazing tools to show us exactly what's converting cold traffic today. Go into the Meta ad library, punch in your niche keywords, and scroll all the way to the bottom to find the oldest active ads. For TikTok, jump into the Creative Center and meticulously analyze the first 3 seconds, the hook of top converting videos. Next, grab the free Koala Inspector Chrome extension. You can use it on a competitor's Shopify store to document their exact theme and any backend apps, like loyalty programs that they're using. Finally, plug their URL into SimilarWeb to estimate their traffic volume and see if they're relying on paid social or if they've built a solid organic search mode.
Now, the most crucial takeaway from that Meta ad library search is what we call the 30-day ad rule. Basically, an ad running consistently for 30 days is profitable. This is such a massive reality check. Media buyers are ruthless. They will kill an unprofitable ad within 48 to 72 hours just to stop the bleeding. So if you manage to find boring, seemingly static ads that have survived the auction for months, well, you've just found the true cash cows of your niche.
That brings us to Phase 3, Niche Community and Audience Language Mining. Again, we are not guessing what the market wants. We are going to extract exact friction points and vocabulary directly from community complaints. Start with a Google Boolean search for Reddit, combining your niche with phrases like I wish or hate. Join private Facebook groups and search for keywords like broken or first time. Then, head over to Amazon, locate the top 5 products in your niche, and read only the 3-star reviews. Finally, run a quick product matrix check to ensure your idea avoids excessive fragility, heavy shipping weight, and highly complex warranties.
Now, you might be wondering, why in the world are we only looking at 3-star reviews? It's simple. One-star reviews are usually heavily skewed by things like shipping delays or damaged packaging. Five-star reviews are generally just overly enthusiastic, unhelpful praise. But those three-star reviews, they are an absolute goldmine. They are written by highly rational consumers who genuinely like the concept but experienced a very specific mechanical failure. They'll say something like, "The plastic buckle snaps in cold weather." That gives you the exact engineering specification you need to source a much better, highly differentiated product.
All right, Section 3, Viability Scoring and Economics. Let's look at Phases 4 and 5, where we subject our surviving ideas to some harsh realities.
Phase 4 is your niche for brand suitability scoring. You need to open up a spreadsheet and mathematically score your top 5 niches against a 25-point matrix. You're grading them from 1 to 5 on things like category breadth, identity strength, repeat purchase potential, private label runway, and crucially, contentability. Think about that last one really carefully. Can you, as a solo operator, realistically film this product with just a smartphone in your living room? If it requires a massive industrial warehouse to even demonstrate it, your acquisition costs are going to spiral totally out of control. Tally up your total, and you have to ruthlessly discard any niche that scores below an 18 out of 25.
Surviving Phase 4 is awesome, but massive demand means literally nothing without sustainable profit margins. Welcome to Phase 5, Financial Validation. Before you even think about spending a single dollar on ads, you have to calculate your unit economics. First, determine your landed cost by combining the base product cost and the explicit supplier shipping cost. Next, your target sale price absolutely must be a minimum of 3 times that landed cost. Then, calculate your gross margin by taking your sale price and subtracting the landed cost plus standard processor fees, which are usually around 2.9% plus 30 cents. Finally, find your break-even return on ad spend. If your math requires a ROAS higher than 2.0 just to be profitable, discard the product immediately.
Why are we being so strict with these margins? Because of this specific number right here, $23. That is the average U.S. meta cost per mil, or CPM, at the moment. Relying on generic supplier shipping estimates or settling for low gross margins is the primary cause of early-stage insolvency. Just think about it. If your gross margin is only $15 and a single click costs you nearly $3, your ad mathematically has to convert at an impossibly high rate just for you to break even. You need wide margins to survive today's ad auction. Now we're at Section 4, Risk Screening and Ad Tests. Let's walk through Phases 6 and 7.
Phase 6 is essentially a legal gauntlet. You have to ensure your products don't violate IP laws or payment processor policies, which could freeze your funds down the line. First, use the newly updated USPTO trademark search. Use the expert mode with the CM: and GS: tags to catch wordmark conflicts and patented goods. Then, cross-reference that on the WIPO Global Brand Database for any international conflicts. Next, rigorously screen out ad network restricted categories, things like ingestibles or weight loss products. Screen against Shopify Payments acceptable use policies for things like CBD. And lastly, run your product images through Google Lens. If hundreds of identical Shopify stores pop up, the market is flooded and you're going to need to layer on some serious custom branding to survive.
This next concept is absolutely critical to grasp. Platform permission does not equal payment approval. Shopify might be perfectly happy to let you build and host a slick store selling aggressively marketed dietary supplements. But Shopify Payments, which is actually powered by Stripe, will gladly freeze your capital, hold reserves for up to 180 days, and terminate your account the second they do a manual review. When you're bootstrapping, just avoid high-risk categories entirely.
All right, Phase 7 is where we synthesize all our data and transition from theory to empirical truth. Take the top 2 or 3 highest scoring niches from your matrix that survived all those IP and economic checks. Build a very basic Shopify trial landing page. Next, you're going to launch a Meta or TikTok ad campaign at just $10 to $20 a day for 48 to 72 hours. You can use basic static images or simple CapCut edits for this. Keep in mind, you aren't optimizing for actual purchases yet. You are just analyzing raw consumer interest by looking closely at your cost per click and your click-through rate.
That entire ad test is only going to cost you between $40 and $60. But this tiny budget is your ultimate arbiter of truth. All your theoretical research bows down to the live ad auction. If your cost per click exceeds $2.50 in this test, the audience is simply too expensive to acquire, or your creative is just too weak. Mathematically, you cannot scale it. You will select the single niche that demonstrates the lowest CPC and the highest click-through rate.
You made it through the gauntlet, but the work doesn't stop. Section 5, Post-Selection Monitoring, is Phase 8. Phase 8 is about establishing an automated rhythm to build a moat around your new brand. First, set up daily Google alerts for your niche keywords and any new product announcements. Next, make it a habit every single Monday to check the bookmark meta ad library pages of your top 3 competitors. Post-launch, you'll want to transition your ad objective from link clicks over to conversions. And finally, establish a go, no-go financial gate at $100 in ad spend. If you spend that first $100 on conversion ads and get exactly 0 checkouts initiated, pause your operations immediately. You need to reevaluate your friction points before burning through any more capital.
Now, why are we checking competitor ads every single Monday? Because competitors frequently delete losing advertisements. If you're only checking the ad library once a month, you are going to completely miss their rapid creative testing cycles. Weekly monitoring reveals exactly which angles they tested and abandoned. That intelligence saves you from wasting your own hard-earned money testing those exact same failed hypotheses.
And that leaves us with one final, incredibly important question to ask yourself. Are you building a durable niche brand, or are you just chasing a depreciating trend? By ruthlessly filtering your ideas through these 9 rigorous phases, you can finally stop gambling on saturated fads and start building a mathematically sound, truly sustainable e-commerce empire. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this playbook completely transforms the way you view market validation.